Ruffalo and more demand ICE facility for children shut down. Sign open letter. Children belong in schools, not detention centers. No child should be locked in an immigration detention center. We, the undersigned, call for the immediate closure of the Dilley Immigration Processing Center, an Immigration and Customs Enforcement family detention center in Texas, and an end to the detention of children and families. Children held in immigration detention endure trauma, neglect, and conditions that violate basic standards of health, safety, dignity, and human rights. The harms of detaining children are known and well documented. Court filings of abuse against children have included refusals to provide clean water, rotten food contaminated with worms, dangerous medical neglect, sleep deprivation, denial of legal counsel, the separation of children from their families, and retaliation against families protesting the inhumane conditions. Children belong in schools and on playgrounds, not in detention centers. We urge the federal government and Core Civic to close the Dilley facility immediately, return children and families to the homes and communities they were taken from, and to end child imprisonment now. Our commitment does not end with closure. We demand transparency, accountability, and systemic reforms to prevent these abuses from happening anywhere in the United States. When celebrities have to do the work of Congress, I mean, you have Miss Rachel out there. Miss Rachel is out there fighting to close these concentration camps. Children have complained of limited education, lights that never turn off, and moldy food. Amid the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, more than 2,300 children have been put into detention with their parents, with the overwhelming majority held at Dilley, according to figures provided by court-appointed monitors. Many have been held for several weeks or months. And trust that the inhumane conditions of these ICE facilities is on purpose. One, because they do not view immigrants as human beings. And two, because by keeping kids in dire, abusive, traumatic situations like this, the hope is that their families will leave, that they will go, because their babies are being subjected to such brutal treatment. Excuse me. I mean, okay, sorry to keep the evil rolling here, but look at this evil shit. ICE guards are betting on which detainee will kill themselves next. I think we should bet on ICE guards killing themselves. How about that? I think we should throw these ICE agents into a pit and go, only one of you gets to make it out of here. The Associated Press got inside Camp East, Montana. What they found should be on the front page of every newspaper in this country until it closes. About 3,000 people packed in per day. Loud, unsanitary quarters crawling with insects. Food so scarce that detainees steal from each other just to eat. Disease spreading through filthy rooms, showers, and restrooms that go uncleaned. People losing weight. People unable to see a doctor. People losing their minds. These are concentration camps, just like the concentration camps in Palestine. So this whole idea that if you are not paying attention or care about U.S. policies overseas, or states like Israel who are committing these atrocities, who we fully financially and politically back, well, this is happening in our home country as well. Okay, it's all connected. If you think there is some difference between how the government behaves in a foreign manner versus domestically, no. This is, you can't reform this shit. You just have to completely destroy it all. You have to destroy Israel's system. You have to destroy all of this. There's no reforming in this. It's just demonstrating that it's becoming more and more barbaric every single day. Staff made nearly one 911 call per day in the camp's first 5 months. One call captures a man sobbing after being assaulted by another detainee. Another has a doctor describing a man banging his head against a wall while expressing suicidal thoughts. A nurse calls about a pregnant woman in severe pain with coronavirus. Detainees suffering seizures, some resulting in serious head trauma. Ages range from a 19-year-old who fell from a bunk to a 79-year-old who couldn't breathe. And then there's the detail that should haunt this administration for the rest of its existence. Owen Ramsing, a former property manager from Columbia, Missouri, who spent weeks in the camp before being deported to the Netherlands, told the AP that he overheard a security guard talking about a betting pool among the staff. They were wagering on which detainee would be next to die by suicide. It's the way that we are just constantly gambling on human lives, whether it is on Kalshi, a betting, a bet placed on whether or not we will nuke Iran, or not just whether or not, when we will nuke, when we will deploy nukes. Or betting on which detainee in this concentration camp would die by suicide next. Literally a Deadpool. Yeah. The guard said he had put $500 in. The total pot rode on the outcome. Ramsing said the talk was particularly devastating because he had contemplated suicide himself. Guards are gambling on the deaths of people in their custody. Does that seem like then they are motivated in humanely treating these immigrant detainees? Does that seem like they have any incentive here, or is it the opposite? Are they incentivized to enact the most brutal behavior towards them because they're betting cash on who's going to kill themselves next? This is not people are begging for help through 911 calls that come in every single day. And the staff turned it into a game. This is not some rogue facility. This is the system working exactly as this administration designed it. Overcrowded by policy, underfed by neglect, understaffed by choice. They built a place where human beings deteriorate, and then the people paid to watch over them place bets on who breaks first. The AP has the data, the recordings, the interviews, the court filings. This is documented. This is real. This is happening right now in El Paso, Texas, in the United States of America. Do not let them bury it under another news cycle. This is exactly as this person described. It is the system working as it has been designed. This is not an anomaly. This is the outcome of a cruel and inhumane system towards immigrants. You cannot treat human beings like this. You should not treat human beings like this. Human beings have rights. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they are undocumented immigrants. They are human beings with rights. And a lot of them are being held indefinitely with the purpose in punishing them, in deteriorating their physical and mental abilities. And the whole idea is when you take people who are incredibly vulnerable, who are already on the margins, and you lock them away, then they just disappear. They're invisible. Nobody cares. Nobody pays attention to them when they're locked up in a cage like this. So much dehumanization of so many people. It's unbearable. I know. It is just straight and total dehumanization. That is what's at the core here. It's, hey, these are not human beings. Do not consider them to be human beings. And therefore, you will not be outraged at how we are treating them. It's like when you grow up, you learn about Japanese internment, and then something like this happens and you see people already assign it to history and disassociate themselves from it. Yes, when you go, how could this country have locked up so many Japanese American? Well, there you go. We learn from history exactly how this country allowed these things to happen, carried out these really horrific and brutal policies. And where are the Democrats? And now, obviously, there are some who have been involved in trying to shut down these concentration camps, have tried to bring attention to the rampant sexual and physical abuse that is ongoing. But from my perspective, I see Democrats continuing to talk about one fucking streamer. I think the absurdity on full stark display that Democrats, that people like Jake Tapper, with everything that is happening that is so cruel and evil, and that they could be spending attention on, highlighting, and yet I swear to God, every time I see, every time I look at my timeline or see what's up, what's going on, it's this focus remaining on protecting Israel, which means going after prominent figures who are a threat to that. Holy shit. So for people, for Democrats, for liberals who want to be like, why is everything about Israel and Palestine? Because it is. Because it is. Not just because of the ongoing U.S. facilitated genocide and ethnic cleansing of the West Bank, but because the opposition party is so focused on protecting their great allies' interests, on ensuring that the flow of support is uninterrupted, that it's what they are dedicating their energy towards. Aaliyah Rahman, the woman who was violently ripped out of her car and detained by ICE in Minnesota, described the way agents in the detention center referred to her and the other detainees as bodies. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's so vile. It's just complete and total dehumanization on full display. That is how you justify, and that is how you seek to elicit support for this type of inhumanity. I think people are noticing how insane it looks going after him. I've seen a lot of people who've never watched or heard of him defending him. Yes, that's because a lot of people are sick and fucking tired of Israel. And they have, at this point, recognized that most of the time, the cries of anti-Semitism are directed at people who are fighting against Israel, people who are opposing Israel. That's the thing. It's like when I was watching the Manosphere documentary last night, I went, damn, imagine if these Democrats who are going after content creators, who are going after internet figures, decided to go after a Myron Gaines, a person who is actively being an anti-Semite, who is actively promoting Nazi beliefs, who is saying really hateful and horrific things about the Jews. Imagine when it's like, oh, you actually do have streamers and internet influencers who are promoting anti-Semitism. Yeah, Myron Gaines, who worked for Homeland, mind you. But yet, nobody cares about that. They don't care about Nick Fuentes openly promoting being a neo-Nazi and being incredibly bigoted They don't go after Fuentes. And the ones who will mention him do so in the context of going after Hassan, where they're like, he's just as bad. In many ways, he's worse. It's all performative. It's all full of shit. I hope clavicular rots in prison. Those dudes need to face consequences. Yeah, I was thinking about that too, where I was like, it's interesting how now, because of the privileges that clavicular has, these guys are just doing crimes as content. They're doing crimes as content. So as far as the Democrats' concerns with the manosphere, right, with these deeply hateful, misogynistic, bigoted influencers, they don't actually seem to really be concerned. Jay Aubrey's video about clavicular have really opened my eyes to how insidious that toad is. Yes, he's very insidious. This is not I can fix him. This is not a baby girlification of clavicular. He's deranged. He is not somebody who should continue to receive attention. And I just saw a fucking piece in The Atlantic that it's like, you know what? We actually wrapped this up a month ago. We're not doing any more pieces in mainstream publications about clavicular. Are you serious? That's what we're choosing to publish in this moment? Oh, okay. The Atlantic. Yep.